Welcome back to another real estate video to all you beautiful Zaidi onlys. A second video in less than a week. Isn't that superb? Well, you know what? For all those months that I've not been videoing, I've not been vlogging, I've not been talking to you guys, I guess, you know what, I'm just now so active and so excited to pick up the camera once again. So I thought, you know what, why don't I just come up with another video? And this video is basically all about a very simple question that many of you have been asking me, and I was at a dinner the other day with a couple of friends. You guys are probably thinking, well, I eat out a lot and I'm hanging around social circles a lot. Well, you know what, I'm loved by so many Zaidi's just like you guys. So I was at this dinner and a very important question came up, and that question was something which I was been always thinking about to answer, and I was just not getting the right time to answer, or I'd say I just kept on forgetting because of all the other new projects coming up and all the other videos that I started to make up. The question is that why are developers, or why are these townhouses that are coming up, freehold townhouses, or even some of the condo townhouses coming up, and why are they 2,300, 3,000 square feet, or even up to 4,000 square feet? Recently there was another project by the name of Empress Park, and the minimum size of that townhouse is more than 3,500 square feet. So why are they in so much demand, and why are developers actually coming up with these townhouses? Well, basically, let's put it into perspective. Out of the 12 months in a year, I would say 9 months or even 8 months, well, not considering the recent temperature changes, but usually historically in Toronto it's usually 8 to 9 months that's extremely cold, and it's more like a winter feeling. So people and kids, and all of them, they're all indoors. So in the olden days where you had big lots and big houses, majority of the time that parcel of land or that extra piece of land you had on your property was useless. And let's say whenever it was summertime and kids wanted to go out, a backyard would still be considered staying at home, right? So now the backyard is now actually useless for a lot of families. So it's not being used, it's considered a waste. So developers have actually looked at this, and they've taken in a lot of feedback from a lot of realtors like myself and other realtors in the industry out there, and considered coming up with these new ideas where the extra lot that we have in our house, or we used to have, was a waste. So why don't we, as developers, why don't the developers come up with an idea where the livable area is equally or more than the actual livable area we're in? So for example, if I'm living in a 3,000 square foot house and I've got a 50-foot frontage with 140 feet depth, so I am utilizing 3,000 square feet, right? And I'm basically not using the other part of my lot. I'm using the 150 or 50 foot frontage. I'm not using that much. So there are a lot of new families coming up, where the concept is we need more livable space rather than outside space. So that's where the concept of townhouse. So the developers are actually maximizing their parcel of land where they could put up more properties of 3,000 and 3,000 plus square feet of townhouses, rather than putting up 3 or 4 houses, detached houses with bigger lots. So they're maximizing the use of the land. They're giving me, or people like me, the same amount of space that I'm currently using. So it basically fulfills my requirement. The second thing is that or people like myself, don't really want to shovel the snow. They really don't want to mow the lawn. So it's less maintenance when I live in a townhouse, but I've got the same space. Now the townhouses that are coming up were 3,500 plus square footage. They're 3 to 4 stories high. They've got a basement as well. So those townhouses even have elevators. So it makes it more easier, more convenient to travel along the floors. So basically we're getting the same amount of livable space So we're not losing out on livable space, but the cost of maintaining a property is a lot cheaper. And that's where this concept and this idea of freehold townhouses came into perspective, where this idea of having larger townhouses so they can fulfill the livable space and at the same time reduce the cost of maintenance to us as homeowners. So that was a very important question that needed answered. Now, who's buying these? Should investors buy these? By all means, of course. Let me tell you why. Well, in Toronto, it's a very cosmopolitan city, right? And there are a lot of, excuse me, and there are a lot of MNCs, multinational corporations, who have managers. They've got trainee managers. They've got temporary staff that travels at obviously a managerial post. So, for example, let's say Volvo, or for example, let's say Shell, right? So they obviously have managers and directors who come into Toronto. They stay here for 3 years. They're either training or they're setting up a new venture for that specific company, or they're training staff. So they're stationed in Toronto for 3 to 4 years, and of course, if you really want your managers to be happy, so a lot of these multinational corporations rent out these large townhouses from investors, and they rent it out at good prices. So what's happening is that if you have a 3,500 square foot townhouse, the manager wants to live in a very big place. He wants to have a lavish sort of a lifestyle. The company is paying for it, and the company wants to keep his manager or their staff happy, so they go out and they rent these townhouses from us. So for investors, of course, it is another good opportunity to buy these kind of townhouses. But again, as I said, and I know, a lot of people are thinking that, hey, why should I buy a townhouse for over $1 million and rent it out for $4,000 a month, right? Whereas I could probably go out into downtown Toronto and then buy a condominium, 3-bedroom condominium or a 2-bedroom condominium, and rent that out for rent that out for $4,000, or even not $3,200 or $3,500. So I'm investing less in a condo, yet I get the same or more return than a townhouse. Excuse me. So, well, basically the reason why people are buying townhouses of that size is for 2 reasons. First of all, they maximize on the appreciation. So when you're selling that townhouse, the appreciation value in a less span of time is more. It's quicker to sell a townhouse. And number 2, there are a lot of people who live in big houses as a family of 5 or a family of 4, right? But when the kids grow up and the kids are moving out, so it's very tough for the parents to manage that house. But at the same time, it's going to be extremely tough for them to downsize themselves into a condo from such a large house. So a townhouse is a transition stop. So they downsize themselves to those townhouses, and then later on they go into condominiums, and that's how they downsize. Well, some of them are already in a townhouse, and for them to downsize into a condominium is much easier and it's less painful. So there's a demand, there's a reason why developers are coming away with that, and I feel that this demand and this product is further going to be growing. A lot of people are going to buy townhouses. A lot of people, the new generation, where there's a couple and they've got a kid, or even a family of 5, or even myself, if I wanted to buy, I'd probably downsize to a townhouse where my livable area is more or less same or more than where I live existing, where I currently live, right? So even that townhouse would make a lot of sense for me. So having said that, I feel that I've probably answered this question in detail. Excuse me for my throat, just been not resting too much, but so it was very important for me to put that point through and to discuss this on video to address the masses, that do not worry or do not feel threatened by townhouses coming up at 1.5 million or 1.2 million or even $1 million, and they're going to probably take over the detached house market, or why would somebody want to buy, and are they a good product? So again, as I always keep saying, that real estate is something which is tangible, which grows in value, and and obviously if there is something that's coming out in the market, if there's a product which is being launched by developers, there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of research that's gone behind it, and I can vouch for that kind of research, I can vouch for that kind of hard work, and I can vouch for a townhouse because I see the trend. I see how youngsters, I see how new graduates, I see how newly married couples, I see how these families are changing and are focusing on the different types of real estate, just because of the fact they don't really want to maintain and pay a huge maintenance fee, yet want to be proud owners of a house, and at the same time do not want to be cramped into condominiums, into smaller spaces. So that's why these kind of townhouses are in demand. I hope I've answered your question. I hope I've clarified to the best of my abilities, to the best of my capabilities, and I look forward to hearing from you guys really soon. So until next time, if you have any questions, you know what to do. Write me an email, drop me a text, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions and to help you as well. So until next time, take care and stay blessed.